plenty
there
of
are
little
some
maple trees
species
that
that
pop
are,
up where they don't belong.
yeah, I was gonna say, there are some species that are difficult to get a hold of in a
Right.
2.5 inch, so, but that are native to Illinois, so, right, I heard this whole story, but, with the whole housing downturn, a lot of the nurseries went out of business, and then EAB hit full force, and now they're starting to come back. Well, their stock hasn't completely caught back up to where we want it to be. And also because of EAB, everyone's requesting trees not quite as common as they used to be. You don't get as many of the maples and the lindens, which you can find in any nursery now. Everybody wants to go somewhere a little bit different. Shagbark hickory being one. So if I could get my hands on a shagbark and it's 1.5 inch, I'd take it. So, but
And we're always looking for a diversity of species in case
yeah,
something like that.
everybody's trying.
And part of the problem is if you go with too small of a tree, you're dealing with having to stake it
Right.
Yeah.
for a certain period of time and watch that the wires aren't cutting in, and it's a lot more maintenance, so you want to go with the larger tree so it's more stable once it's put in.
What I'm saying is, if you had your own, staging area in regards to growing your own, you could have the scouts, the Girl Scouts, the volunteers to help out, and give time back to nature and work the program out. You could start somewhere.
Yeah.
The seal coating at Northwest,
Yes.
how is the entranceway going to be affected by that?
We'll probably do the seal coating once all of the improvements on 127th are done.
And is that this year?
That is this year. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, that is this year. So our gravel strip along 127th, I think it's been mentioned in the past, but the village is doing improvements along 127th Street in front of Northwest Community. So the multi-use trail that currently dies on the north end right before it hits our property will actually go all the way down into Shenandoah. The gravel strip will be going away also. And we'll be extending a walking path roughly from where our basketball court is now, all the way up to that multi-use path to the Leno residences. They use that trail along 127th to be able to come into our park without going through the parking lot.
And that will also provide a loop trail within the park itself.
Yes, that too.
Because of the fact that they'll have a connection point on the far west end of the park and then by the entrance by the parking lot. So if you really want to walk through the Norman Greenway up and down, you can use a loop trail just there around Northwest Community, which would be quite a large trail.
Then what's going on along Lockport Street with all those flags on either side of the road?
I'm not sure. I think it's utilities.
So we haven't been
No,
notified
that's
on that?
not, no, that's in the easement. Because I know they've been laying, it's been a couple different trucks that have been out there as we've been passing by.
So many of them, I'm so surprised.
Yeah, it's all the way down.
Well, I mean, it's like every 6 inches or so, it's.
So I believe it's a utility line of some sort going in.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Next on the agenda was committee reports, but there are none. So the next item is action items, and park dedication is the only action item in that category for tonight. And this was the renaming of Renwick Community Park as the Gregory B. Bott Community Park, and that the current Gregory B. Bott Park become part of Riverside Parkway.
This was obviously put on the agenda for the board director last month. Just to follow up, I was asked to bring back any support came through. I did receive 2 emails in support of the name. I received one, and I'll pass it down line, from Bill and Linda Hanley, and then also one from Vincent Fazio. So I will pass these down if anyone would like to see them at that point. Otherwise, a motion would be made to open discussion.
I'll make the motion that we rename Renwick Community Park Gregory B. Bott Park Community Park, and that the current Greg Bott Park become part of Riverside Parkway.
Second that motion?
Okay, a motion was made by Commissioner Newton and seconded by Commissioner Ayers. Is there any discussion?
Here's Dutch Park, thinks that, once again, questioning the motive of renaming Renwick in regards to saving the name for possible future, like I said, opportunities to have outside donations or foundations, in regards to accessing resources or monies to the park in regards to eliminating a big park like that and renaming it, Doug, which Doug has a park already. And I think it's kind of foolish, in regards to relocating a name and losing the park's possible interest in regards to future, monies and like that for naming rights, with big corporations and so forth. We're kind of strict in regards to where our monies are coming from, especially if there's no grants coming to the park. We're restricted regards to, what the residents or the taxpayer is going to allow us to levy for future growth of the park. So in regards to, eliminating or removing an option of one of our better parks, buildable parks on top of it, and locking in with a name that could be, they said, a great opportunity for a big corporation to come in and help support the community by naming rights. I think, by, like I said, switching over from one park to the other, I think it's kind of foolish at our part. But at the same time, I'd like to hear a little more from the outside voters, because this is a taxpayers' park in regards to possibly having a referendum established, since we have an opportunity coming up in the next election to put a referendum and leave it up to the voters in regards to determining if they want to see, the now Bott Park be relocated to Renwick. So I just more or less leave it up to the voters.
Any other discussion? I understand your concern. I feel more that naming rights, if there's ever even the possibility of that happening, would be better suited for a future building rather than the entire park itself. But, so I understand your concern, but I just want you to know.
Well, at the same time, they said it's naming a park, not a building. Matter of fact, when it comes down to even Doug giving an opportunity to leaving his name behind,
Who is this
past
Doug you keep
assessor, he
talking
was
about?
not, excuse me, I'm gonna have the
Who
floor.
is Doug you keep talking about?
Or, I'm sorry, Mr. Bott, okay?
Just want to make sure.
Okay, Greg, I'm sorry, stand corrected. In regards to the matters, in regards to his accomplishments and what he left behind for commissioners to resolve, even today, he was not too much of a successful director in my book. Plain and simple, he left his park in disarray. In regards to his practices and procedures and policies, he also left those. He left also, let's mention, how many ADAs that he ignored through the his terms? 1,634 ADA write-ups. That's disgusting. So we're gonna honor this person. Lucky enough, he has a park, but now he's not happy. He wants to select his own park of his willings. I don't understand what we're doing here. He should leave it where his name is at now and be happy with it.
Anybody else? Okay, roll call.
Newton,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes.
Kazmar,
Abstain.
Foley,
Yes.
Steines,
Absolutely no.
Ludeman.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, next is old business. Did you have anything?
Should be ashamed.
So
New
should you.
business.
Yes, you are.
You should absolutely be ashamed.
No, this is what the voters are talking about. It's shambles. So I just assume that you're talking in different ways.
Next item is
Wonder
new
how it got
business.
that way.
That wasn't me.
I'm sorry.
I was here for 33 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you went.
Next item was new business. Is there a presentation?
No, I just wanted to bring up, so Todd will either be, or from design perspectives, will either be at the next board meeting on May 11th, or I'm gonna see if he's available for this upcoming mini session that we have on April 20th next week. The one thing I will be sending out with your weekly update this week is I should have a completed or draft of a survey for a feasibility study that I want you guys to review, and then we can discuss that a little bit more next week on Wednesday to see if there's any items that were in there that you want, or items that you want withdrawn, or other questions that we're completely missing on. So I want to make sure we have commissioner input on that survey as we prepare it to get a better idea with future feasibility study.
Thank you. Next item agenda is board initiatives and researching potential tree things for long-term plans. Yes, and then also the renaming of the park. Am I missing anything? I think that's about it for today. All right, next is commissioner comments. Commissioner Ayers.
Thank you.
Commissioner Furtado is not here. Commissioner Casmark? Commissioner Newton?
No comment.
Commissioner Polling?
I'm excited that adult programming, we're going to have a new program, that one-time thing that's going to be for adult women, an evening out, and it's not just the seniors, not just the active adults, but all adult women, and it's going to be here in the evening, and it's, as we're trying to get into this, using this building in the evening for program, I'm excited that we're gonna try this out.
What's it gonna be?
It's sort of a spa night. It's like you can get to choose like either a hand massage or a facial or a neck massage, something, or a foot pedicure, or and then there's other things, like I'm going to be doing a table where people can make their own wine glass. They're going to be painting their own wine glass. So.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Steiger? I just want to say that I appreciate all the efforts the Parks Department is making with the spring plantings and everything, the daffodils. It looks wonderful, so thank you. And next is closed session. My spiel I have to read. Seeking a motion to go into executive session as permitted under the Open Meetings Act under 5 ILCS 120-2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. 5 ILCS 120-2C2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or the representatives. And 5 ILCS 120-2C21, discussion of the minutes and meetings lawfully closed under this act for the purposes of approval by the body of the minutes at 6:45 p.m. to reconvene. Is there a motion?
Second?
All right, a motion was made by Commissioner Newton and seconded by Commissioner Ayers.
Newton.
Yes.
Ayers.
Yes.
Casmark.
Yes.
Poland. Yes. Steines.
Yes.
Goodwin.
Yes.
Motion carries.